NAACP boycotting NFL until they make one big change. Here's the disgusting reason why. Colin Kaepernick still remains unemployed, and apparently, he and others on the Hate America train are oblivious to why. You see, no one wants to employ someone who will only create more division and chaos for them, and Kaepernick should have realized that. So, instead of manning up and accepting the consequences of his actions, Kaepernick rather act as the victim of imaginary racism. Now, the NAACP has decided to throw their hat into the fray, and what they are demanding is disgusting. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee last season, it opened the door to a fiasco like never seen before. Instead of just simply playing football like Kaepernick was paid millions of dollars to do, he felt the need to turn the game into a three-ring circus. Suddenly, the fun autumn game turned political and the backlash began. Fans were ticked to see this entitled football player taking a knee during the anthem, basically spitting in the face of all those that have died for this country. So, it was no surprise that at the end of the season Kaepernick found himself unemployed and still one of the most hated men in the country. Now, after the recent clash in Charlottesville, Virginia between violent groups such as Antifa, Black Lives Matter and white supremacists, the shrill scream of racism in the NFL has grown louder. Last week, Seattle Seahawks defensive end Michael Bennett sat during the anthem, as well as Oakland Raiders Marshawn Lynch, to protest the racial inequality in America. And, now to up the manufactured hysteria, the NAACP has demanded that Colin Kaepernick is given a job or else. Here is more from WUSA9. This is not a simple request. This is not a statement. This is a demand, said Gerald Griggs of the Atlanta NAACP. At a Friday afternoon news conference, the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP announced the boycott of the NFL due to the ongoing unemployment of quarterback Colin Kaepernick. There will be no football in the state of Georgia if Colin Kaepernick is not on a training camp roster and given an opportunity to pursue his career, said Griggs. Kaepernick has remained unsigned by an NFL team after opting out of his contract with the San Francisco 49ers. While it was thought that several teams were considering the former Super Bowl quarterback, none have given him a shot this year. Last year, Kaepernick made headlines for his controversial decision to kneel rather than stand during the national anthem. Griggs said Kaepernick remained unsigned solely due to his silent boycott of the national anthem last season. When asked about his decision, Kaepernick said, "I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder." Kaepernick received significant levels of backlash for his silent protest, which have included fans burning his San Francisco jersey and fans demonstrating at 49ers games. In response to the announced NAACP protest, Atlanta Falcons owner Arthur Blank issued a response late Friday afternoon. "I have a long record of active opposition to any symbol or behavior that represents exclusion or discrimination, both personally and in keeping with the core values of our businesses," said Blank's statement said, in part. "I, along with our family foundation, the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United, have never and will never waver, from that stance." Oh, really? No football till someone hires Kaepernick? These people are out of their freaking minds for making such a demand, and they seem to not understand that there are consequences for one's actions. Kaepernick made the decision when he knelt on the football field that he'd rather fight for this imaginary inequality than celebrating how far we have come. And, of course, instead of other people calling Kaepernick out on his divisive tactics, there are more people supporting it. One educator by the name Rand Miller wrote a piece in the National Memo about the ramifications for a social protest and of course praised the instigator. "If we are not teaching our students the importance of standing up for justice, Mr. Kaepernick is." Through his visible statement of resistance and his Know Your Rights camps, he communicates to young people that there is more to life than material gain. For black and brown children who are presented with athletics as a way out of poverty, Kaepernick teaches that sports are more than a pathway to riches, Sports provides a stage for athletes to become activists and advocates for the voiceless and the unheard. Unfortunately, as Kaepernick teaches black and brown students one lesson, NFL owners are teaching them another, that currency comes before conviction, profit before progress. At a time when activism against racial injustice is urgently needed, the NFL owners are communicating to young people that there is a high price to be paid for speaking out. There are many issues that plague our country, but this constant scream of racism is not one of them. There are faults in any civilized society due to the fact that there are millions of people in this world and not everyone will get along, but to demand a boycott is absurd. Kaepernick is not being hired because not only is he a mediocre football player but he is not likable. No team in the NFL wants to take on a liability such as him, and that is their right to do. Let's be honest, if Kaepernick wanted to stop these shenanigans and just play the game and leave his social justice warrior protests for the off-season, that would be fine. However, if he keeps this up he will continue to be unemployed, and that is all on him, and no one should be punished for his poor decisions. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.